honestly, I'm not surprised we're ending up with someone shit.
I don't really know how you could go more negative than someone who has finished 20th last season.
Who'd want to take over that club now? It's such a massive... We've got a 60,000 seater poison chalice.
You know, remember when he was Man United manager and all the Liverpool fans came out with a meme saying he was David Moyes as a footballing genius? Clearly sarcastic, but the owners don't seem to get that. They don't get the irony. They just think it's real.
The owners have claimed that they want to bring fresh ideas and that's why they're making a change of manager, but what is fresh about what David Moyes does at a football club?
He's a joke. He's a joke manager. He's a punchline.
I've had this opinion since I was 10 years old, is that he is shite. Even at Everton when they were hard to beat, like, he just limited their expectations.
Do you know what I mean? He's, like, these last 3 jobs, he's absolutely fucked up, like, massively.
Everyone has to look at themselves. There's no one really at that club who can stand there and say that they've done their bit.
Feels a little bit like everyone's to blame because players don't look like they give a shit and performances aren't there.
Certainly not just the players, it's certainly not just the owners, which is one of the things, because everyone always blames the owners all the time. It's certainly not just Bilic.
But then you end up booing him, but you're not really booing him, you're booing the other fans for booing and stuff like that, and it just creates this like really horrible, toxic atmosphere.
We've broke our transfer record under Bilic like 3 times, I think now. Ultimately, if you get backed big money for big players and they don't perform, then that's not the fault of the owners, that's the fault of the people who are coaching the players and the players themselves.
I think getting rid of Bilic was the right move, really. It was a shame because he's a good geezer, but like it just clearly wasn't happening.
He was dealt a bad hand, but you get some managers that are dealt that and make do with it. He just didn't look like he can handle it. He did look like a dead man walking.
There's a correct decision there to be made, and it's getting rid of him, but like, what you follow it up with is just baffling.
Not that Bilic should have necessarily been there, but by replacing him with someone like David Moyes, who is so anti what West Ham fans feel like our club stands for.
You know when you've got like so many issues, you don't even know to start.
You have to wonder whether or not the people running the club have ever watched football in the last like 3 years.
It just felt like Groundhog Day. Like, we've been through this before. The moment that Golden and Sullivan came in, and stuff started to go wrong under Zola, a manager who was loved in a similar way to Bilic there, was a good character, you could tell that he cared a lot. And then to replace Zola like we did with Avram Grant, who finished 20th the season before, and do exactly the same thing now with bringing in Moyes, who finished 20th with Sunderland.
How are we going to get a bounce? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there isn't going to be one. It's just going to be a continued decline because that's what he gives you.
It's genuinely like they're just playing like FIFA 14 or whatever, and they're like, oh, Everton is pretty good, aren't they? And they go, oh, who's I don't know, David Moyes.
It's just kind of falling to pieces.
Sunderland were already bad, and then he just like dragged them down like he was just like concrete. And like now look at them, they're completely fucked. That'll be us in 2 years. It's going to become a joke that we've got a massive stadium in a lower league, and we're just turning ourselves into a joke club.
Because the whole point of getting a new manager in would be to galvanise the team and make them feel like there's someone who's going to pull them in the right direction after this. And bringing in a manager who suffered so badly at a team so poor like last season, and to bring him in to try and do that, it just doesn't work.
The negativity, once it starts, it's kind of like a cancer, it just spreads.
Us, like West Ham getting David Moyes, is basically resigning ourselves to the fact that we are a shit club now.
It's just accepting mediocrity. And I don't see how this is going to turn out well at all.
Because like David Moyes and Stuart Pearce as assistant manager is not a signing that you want if you want to sort of like take a club places. You don't build a club around those two.
We've never been a huge club, but at the very least, we knew what we were. We had a sort of identity. It
just feels like we just lack ambition, we lack direction.
We've been going backwards for years.
We're not becoming the laughing stock, it's just the joke is getting funnier.
There's been problems at the club since we moved to the London Stadium.
We lost sort of what made us, us.
But I've seen relegations, do you know what I mean? But at least those relegations, the club was still the club.
Now we're playing in like, it's essentially Westfield. We've got Westfield with like loads of grass like plonked in the middle of it.
The move in the stadium really killed the identity of what West Ham stands for, and this move just completely adds to it.
David Moyes is like adding to the joke, adding to the sketch. Do you know what I mean? It's like a sequel, if anything.
How long can like a club go on without just ignoring its own fans?
We were sold a lie, And then on top of that, like, we're struggling.
They've taken away the atmosphere, they've taken away the stadium, and they've taken away the West Ham man who was in charge.
Slowly and slowly, every one little thing is being chipped away until eventually we're just Red Bull West Ham.
Like, people sometimes ask me, like, what's it like being a West Ham fan since we left the bowling ground? And last year I was like, it's quite bleak. It is quite bleak, and it's annoying, it was just like frustrating. But now I don't even, it's weird. Like, it's only like the last few days I've actually started to have any sort of feeling again, and that was just like anger. But like, you just become completely numb to like constant disappointment, to the point where you're just sort of like, you're just sitting there and taking it, and you're just like, oh yeah, we're crap, aren't we? Oh yeah, we got beat 3-0 on a Friday night by Brighton. That's fine, isn't it? Oh, we're getting our heads kicked in by Liverpool. Guess that's who we are now. It just, honestly, I just want it to end.